Hi everybody, it's Pam with Silver and Sparkles, and I am back with the 5 things that we can do when we're making a junk journal. So this is a series that started with how to make a junk journal out of an old book, and this is my old book. I love it. It was the Lace book, and I'm turning it into a delightful journal. So I'm using papers by My Porch Prints, and this is Quilted Cottage. There's a journal kit and then some add-on kits that I'm using. Some book page, some of my coffee dyed papers, just different things, but primarily this kit. And once we made the journal, I gutted the book, we did the signatures, we sewed it in, I started doing ideas for the pages and came up with the let's do kind of the 5 concept. So I'm not quite sure, I should have looked what number we're on, but today what I'm doing is 5 takes on a library pocket. Now I'm not doing like library cards, I'm doing the pockets library kind of pocket style. And they have a similar concept, but there's just different ways, we can construct them. And then of course you can have different orientations, you can have different styles. So I'm just going to walk you through a few ideas that I have and some variations. This one here, let me show you this one. This one looks just like kind of just, I think, a regular pocket, library pocket kind of idea. It's nice and roomy because I put the gussets on it. But this one actually has a hidden journaling spot. So I just put it, instead of on a single piece of cardstock, I folded it over like a card, I guess. And this can be installed on a page, and you get to the page and it looks like, a nice pocket, but then it will also open up and have private journaling space. So I kind of really liked that one. Anyway, I like all of them. Once we make some, we may go through and install some in the book, or I may do that off camera, but I'm loving how it's coming together, and my seam binding and all these fun springy colors is really coordinating well with the paper. So let's do this one first. This is made, and I wrote some cheat sheets or notes on the back for myself, but this one was made with a piece of paper that measures 5.5 inches by 8 inches. And I am just using, they're not scraps, but they're from this kit, just offcuts that I have. And one thing about this type of pocket, library pockets, you really could, use your scraps, and that would be great. So I believe I said, all right, that's 5.5. I said 5.5 by 8, right? Ha! That is super close. So we're going to use this piece of paper to make this style library pocket. So let me put my other pieces, and I have all kinds of goodies from the kit that we're going to use to decorate with as well. So that'll be fun. Just because it's fun, and I think some of you are making a journal using this kit, which is great. And if you're not, you can make it with any papers, but hopefully use these ideas. Okay, so we're going to first score on this 5.5 inch side, and we are going to score at 1/2 inch and at 5 inches. So basically, we'll just have a 1/2 inch score on both sides. And then, I'm just reminding myself, we're going to score on this 8 inch side at 2.5 inches. And it's that easy. All right. So this is one, like I said, where we're making the actual pocket with one piece of paper instead of a base and then building a pocket. And it works great. I am going to fold all my score lines in ink so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm thinking about this one, doing it so that the pocket is the pattern of paper instead of the plain, because then when you stick things in there, it kind of you know, you see that, you don't necessarily see as much of the pattern of the paper back there. So I'm also going to show you a variation if you don't like these here. You could, of course, glue them down. The pocket still works. You can put things behind them or in front of them. But you can also fold it back. So I'll show you. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. I get excited to show you guys my ideas. So it'll probably be easiest to see on this side and show you where we're going to cut. And I've done library pockets in different various videos along the way, but in this spirit of, you know, ideas for a junk journal that will work for you, right? I wanted to just go ahead. All right, I will probably do a touch more inking in a minute. All right, so regardless of which way we decide to fold this, we're gonna have to cut. So all I do is I like to cut a little tiny triangle right there. So you go to this score line and then you cut a triangle right up to that other score line. So instead of just cutting it out, we just kind of made an angle there. And then when you fold these in, this is where you're going to glue your pocket down, and that's where you get that nice roomy pocket. Now, to do it like our prototype, all I did was I also folded these in like this. Folded this up, and then I only glued it right here. So these are not open, and you know, you can put things in. You can also, like I said, glue them down, so that's just more of a decoration. But your third option, you can cut them off too, I guess, so that's 4 options, is you can fold it back like this and have it just more of a plain pocket. You can have it on the back or cut those off. I like them. I like seeing that contrast. So I am going to add a little ink, and I'm going to leave mine. You guys can decide with your pockets, or you can do a variety, right? And sometimes I do glue them down. In fact, maybe this time we'll glue them down. Just that part will be different. Okay, fun. And I am using, let's see, what am I using? I am using my Distress ink and tea dye, all right? And I have been getting the question lately. I realize I think I've been forgetting to tell you guys, I glue these flaps down, is I am printing my paper, and it's pretty much my everyday paper. Occasionally I'll use something different, but I use, it's Neenah brand, and it's a 90-pound cardstock. It's not super heavy. It can work even like for journaling pages. Right now I had glue to these flaps to make the pocket. But it is a cardstock, and it is, you know, heavy enough for things like this, and you can layer and not get too much bulk. I love, like, you know, the 110 that you can get like at Michael's or Hobby Lobby, and I have that, and I do use it and run it through my printer. But I really, this is my everyday, and it is a little more economical. The price just went up on the package that I buy. It used to be $14.99 and it's now $17.99, but it's a large ream. Anyway, that's what I do. So there we go. And then it's just decorating and making it special. One thing I didn't do on any of my prototypes, you know, you can put ribbons and tabs on the actual pockets, you know, in different places too if you want. All right, so in a few minutes when we decorate, we will decorate that one. So there we go. There's one concept. Let's do this one. This one, to me, I wanted to show you guys, and I just, again, I am working through these index cards. So you can use any cardstock you have. I'm using 3x5 index cards, and they are vintage. And I'm using one whole one, and then one I am going to cut to 3x4, okay, instead of 3x5, all right? And again, I'm gonna get out my scoreboard real quick, And we are gonna score on this 4-inch side at a 1/2 inch and at 3.5 inches. And again, it's just to make the, oh, and the bottom. I forgot the bottom. Oh, sorry. I've been contemplating a smaller scoreboard, but I love this one and it works for me. Okay, so score at a 1/2 inch and 3.5 inches, and then turn. And on one end, you want to score at a 1/2 inch. So basically a 1/2 inch, 3 sides around is a way to think of that. Okay, now I do like to miter the corners, and it will be easier. I think you guys know how to do that or have seen me and other crafters do it. But I am going to ink so you guys can see what I'm doing, hopefully. Okay, so all I'm going to do is cut that bulk off. Just cut the corner. Don't go all the way up, but if you go a little bit, it is going to make a nice corner for you. And if you still see a little flap, you can trim it off. All right, happiness. Now, what I did with this one, again, I was trying to make this one look a little more like a classic that you would get in a library book back in the day. So I rounded the corners at the top. For some reason, that's what my memory tells me they looked like. What did I do? Did not get that in there even. I don't like it when that happens. And this one is really good about not doing that as often. And then I also rounded the top of my pocket. And so this one is super simple. I added some ink. I like the creamy color that the cards have naturally turned to as they've aged. And they coordinate well with my paper kit that I'm using, or the paper kit that I'm using. Now, I will say, it's almost a manila color now. That, again, if you don't have index cards, if you want to make one this size, you can just cut your cards, you know, to 3x5. But, you know, you use any cardstock. And if you have a pattern paper you want to use to make this style, that works too. I'm just trying to give you guys some basic concepts so that you then can go and make a whole bunch of different things. All right, so this one, you know, and it's kind of narrow, so, you know, you have to be selective of what you put in there, what kind of tags or whatever, but I like this size. You can make it shorter if you want. I think it's wonderful. Love it. This one, I think, would lend itself to have a cute little number or tab or ribbon or something at the top, because it is a little plain. You could lay your paper on it, you know, but I wanted the more classic look on that one, I guess. Okay, so let's go to this one next, because it looks very similar, but I did do it differently on how I attached it, okay? So for this one, if I make it the same size, I need a piece of paper that is 5.5 by 4. I'm looking at I'm trying to just use these up. So let's cut a piece of paper. Me and my trimmer, we're having so much fun. Okay. All right, that's already 5.5, so let's just cut it at 4. Probably help if I had things. Okay, and then the pocket is a piece of paper that is 5 by 2.5. Mine was shorter, and it's easier if it's a little bit longer. So we're gonna have a piece of paper that measures 5 inches by 2.5 inches. 5 inches by 2.5. And this one is not long enough. And I was hoping for some contrast, but I can also you know, we can decorate it up. So let's do that. All right. So it's the same paper. 5 by 2.5. Now this is like the quickest, the easiest one to do. It could not be any easier. I'm gonna take a second just to ink across the top. We can do the rest of the inking in a minute. And all you're gonna do is put a bead of glue at the bottom of your back, the back of your pocket. We're not making a gusset or anything for the bottom. And then just do your best to center it. It does not have to be perfect, but you want some hanging over on both sides. Basic, okay? And then you just fold it over. Look at how easy. You don't have to score. You don't have to worry. Now, if you're, if you're not sure if your paper is perfect, you could miter these if you want to, but I'm just going to glue mine down. I'm not going to see it because I'm going to, at some point, attach it to the page in a journal. Now, library pockets, I think traditionally that's what most of us do, but obviously you could also take this and put it in a pocket in a journal and then have an element, that comes out and is removable. But if you're like me and you love pockets, you can't get enough pockets, this one is so easy. And again, it decorates up nicely. You can round corners. You could do a punch to make a different shape to the edge. So much that you can do with this one. Okay, so that was another one. We got 2 more. And I wanted to, I guess, remind you guys too that you can make a pocket and put it on a backing using the library style, but it doesn't have to fit across, your entire piece. And I really like this orientation and I think it's fun. And so we're going to make one this size. So the backing for this one, I did 4 inches by 5 1/4. So let's see what papers we have. Me using up the papers I printed. 4 inches. That one's not quite 4. I don't know that it really matters, but you know what? If I'm going to make that last one, I better figure out a way to use this paper. 5 1/4. We're going to pretend this is 4 inches. It's almost 4 inches. Okay. And then the pocket I made out of another index card. You can use any paper you want. You can pick one of these that we printed, that I've got printed on both sides. Maybe we'll do that. Or we've got this. I've been wanting to use this. Why don't we use this? Okay, so what's the size? 5 by 2.5. Okay. I want that bird, so I'm going to chop it off here. Is it 5 inches? I didn't even look. It's 4.5. We will make it work. It will just be a different size. And this is where you really can do a scrap buster and pull out your scraps and just make pockets in these variety of styles that goes like this, that just with the scraps that you have, you really do not have to make them all a standard size. So I hope that empowers you. I am going to score my paper, and I'm going to do this one a little different because my paper's a little smaller. Let's get that steady. I'm going to score at 1/4 inch. And this one is, well, I'm just going to turn it. I'm going to do 1/4 inch on both sides. This is not a standard size piece of paper. So there's 1/4 inch for a little fold, right? And then depending on how deep I want the pocket, I'm going to go ahead and score the bottom at that 1/2 inch. So when it gets folded, we'll still have the bird for the pocket. So I like having that 1/2 inch just because I think it's a little bit easier, but 1/4 inch will work for your flaps that you're folding. And again, I'm just inking this so you guys can see me chop the corners off, hopefully. All right. So chop and chop. And now we're going to bring them in And this one won't probably be as wide. Let's see. Ah, look, it is because I made it smaller. Look at that, how cute. And so then this pocket is already kind of decorated. I added some washi tape to the card and to the pocket of this one. And again, just kind of reminding you to get out your supplies and, you know, use what you have on hand. And we may go ahead and do that for this one. And then finish stuffing it and decorating it in a minute. So before I glue our pocket down, make those corners better. All right, before I glue that down, I had just grabbed this washi tape set. This is a vintage style. This is again from IB, and I'm trying to remember to put the link, my affiliate link for you guys as we go, because if you use the affiliate link and my coupon code, you get 30% off. So I will put that down below in the description if you were, you know, shopping for washi tape. And they have other things like some stickers and I don't know, other things. Okay. I'm just going to lay a piece down. And then I'm going to grab my pocket. And I think on this one, it might be cute to do a piece this direction. Let's see if I like it. I can always pull it up if I don't push it down too hard. Yeah, I kind of like it. Just going to fold it. Cute. It's different. Glue, again, on your little, I don't know, gussets, hinges, flaps. I hear people use all different kinds of words. I don't know. All right. Super fun. And if you want this to be a little sturdier, you know, you can layer it on another piece of paper. You're not, you don't have to leave it. But again, if it's just going to be glued down onto a journal page, I don't know that it matters. All right. Now the last one you can make with any size paper. If you want one this size, I started, I didn't even write this one down. I think I was trying to live on the edge. No, this one is 8 by 5.5, folded in half, and then I made a pocket. So I don't know what size this paper is. Let's just make it with this. This is 8 and this is 6.5. So it's going to be taller when I fold it in half. But again, why not? It'll be fun. I used washi tape on this one too. And then I need to find something to make a pocket. Let's see, I'm running out of my scraps. So we will use this piece because it's really the only piece that's approximately the right size. And we're just doing the exact same thing. We are going to score it on 3 sides, around 3 sides. I'm going to do the 1/4 inch. I eyeballed it and I think that's going to work. And I'll do a 1/2 inch at the bottom because I have more room and I don't want the pocket to be too deep. All right, I'm not going to worry about inking these. You guys watched me do that. And so again, same concept. And for me, you know, the idea of, you know, what are library pockets? It's this idea of having a nice kind of attached pocket, you know, or roomy pocket. I don't know if that's the right word. All right, I got lucky and it fits. I could have, like this one, I brought it in a little bit and I actually like that better. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just fold it over a touch. And again, once you get confident in making these and folding these, you probably aren't gonna worry, you know, or you shouldn't worry too much about it. Just start using what you have, popping them down. And again, use solid papers, or like I did with the cards. I think it makes it look a little more classic. I left that out. All right. Maybe we'll use a piece of it. All right, glue and down. Now again, the point of this one was for it to look just like a library pocket, but then ta-da, there's private journaling space with it. And again, it's not, anyway, you know, it's not super complicated or something that you couldn't have thought up. But sometimes I just need ideas. And that's one of the reason I love my idea journals, because I can flip through that when I'm working on a project and then just have fun with my papers and crafting. Okay, so let's actually get a different one, because why not? I have a whole box of washi tape, and there's lots of florals in here. There's some nice wide ones. I wonder what this would look like. I think I used that blue one recently on camera, and I loved it too. Ooh, yeah, this is gonna be pretty. Ta-da! And you can cut, if you don't want the torn edges, you know, you can cut it. Washi tape cuts easily. All right, here we go, just to give it that little touch of gold and something pretty. And then let's look at some of my fussy cuts. I was really excited about using that flower. This one may do better with something maybe a touch smaller. And then, like, I love this Made with Love. That would be pretty just like that. Let's do that because I have the washi tape decorating it. All right, I'm now going to, I decorate and get all of these ready, I'm gonna have 10 pockets for that journal. That's pretty exciting. All right, Made with Love. Someone is texting me. Let me just make sure no one is having an issue. Okay, I think we're okay. I will get to that in a minute when I'm done. I usually tell, like, my husband who's in the house with me, or, you know, if he's home, look at those kittens, that I am working on a video, because, you know, unless it's life-shattering or urgent, then I don't get interrupted, and, you know, and I don't worry. But, you know, my dad, my kids, my cousins, friends, I don't tell everybody, hey, I'm recording a video right now. I'm over here getting myself a piece of ribbon, by the way. And we're gonna just stick it on there. I'm gonna use my glue dot. I don't have my hot glue gun heated up. Anyway, and it looks like my cousins and my dad have started a group text, because that's why there's so many messages. One of my cousin's wife's father just passed away, unfortunately. We've had a lot going on in my family. With my cousin who passed away, and now Mary's dad. So anyway, I think they were sharing some pictures and stuff. Oh, and my same cousin and his wife, their daughter, is graduating from college today in Florida. Yay! Natalie, congratulations. So it could be pictures about that too. They're all at the graduation. And of course, I'm not there because I'm in Virginia, but I love them and thinking about them. All right, this one was a little taller. I like both of them. I love the tab I put on that card. So those two have the journaling. Let's look at this, and just gonna find something to put in that little pocket. And I do like these. I think I had to trim it just a smidge to get it to slide in there. But we'll put one of these in. This looks like a faux kind of postcard. And again, this is all either from the kit or the add-on kits. So I will have the papers to My Porch Prints Etsy shop linked for you guys in the description. I think one of these will fit. Yay! don't know if I need with that bird. Like I said, I was all excited about some of these fussy cuts. Definitely don't want 2 birds. And now I'm not feeling the need. Look at that daisy. I'll find a use for it though. Don't worry. I think I'm going to leave that. There are some like words having to do with sewing and quilting and things in the kit, so I may add a word later, but I like that. All right, this one's done. Oh, this one definitely needs some pizzazz. So let's see what we can come up with. There's also some cute teacups. Quilts, and there's even more that I still have not cut everything out. Ooh, I love that. That's definitely adding to this one. I love the green. So just a touch of ink. There we go. Have fun. All right. What else is there? Ooh, here's a tall one. Wondering, I'm going back. It's too wide and I don't want to trim it down. Maybe I will put it in here. No, not for right now. Okay. Do I want the daisy or do I want something else? We definitely have to find a home for this rooster. My mom would love this rooster. And these are roomy pockets, so lots of things can fit in there. I don't want to cover that quilt up yet. Again, I feel like this is fading away, and now, look, that's where it's going to go. So I'm just going to be careful not to put glue on those top petals. I knew I was going to find the right spot for this daisy. Do it right there at the bottom. You can always kind of peel it up and put a little down like that. And now I know I have not accidentally glued it closed. Should we put this teddy bear? I can make my fingers work. Yeah. Okay, I am almost gonna call this done. And I know I don't have to ink all of these on camera, but there you have it. All right, we gotta decorate this pocket. And then we have one more. This is so fun. Again, this is my favorite part. So there is a teacup, a fox. So cute, right? Loving that. Let's see, here's a smaller teacup. I also have quilts and little chairs. I don't know. Ooh, kitty cat. Maybe the kitty cat, because I could see this kitty, the fox too, but running around in that lovely field, having just a grand old time. And I will say, I remember cutting this out. And I was like, this is a very intricate fussy cut. I am going back to the washi tape. I think something on the pocket so that then hopefully the cat will pop a little more. I don't know. Is that going to be too much? I'm liking the color. I'm not sure. I'm not going to press it down too hard. And I love torn edges, so. Oh yeah, I like that. It's a little extra, but all right, those are all wonky crazy now. So I'm gonna set them over there and fix them later. I'm gonna go to this side. All right, again, have to be careful not to accidentally glue the pocket closed and get some on all these little tiny pieces. My stepdaughter, Emily, one of my husband's daughters, she and her very sweet boyfriend, they just adopted a new kitten. And they named him Socks. And of course, he has the white socks. He is so fluffy and cute. So I may have to make some cat things for her. All right. This would, of course, do with ribbons and different things. But for now, we're going to call that one done. Where's the one that was like it? Did I lose it? I think this is it. Is that it? No. All right. This is a message to myself that my desk has too many. There it is. Huh. Too many treasures on it. I think I got to mix it. Okay. This is the wraparound. And this is the wraparound. I don't know why. I just wanted to keep them together. And then this is the hidden journaling one. All right. We're doing good. All right. And then there's this one. The only difference here is I glued this one down. And they're a little different height. Because I made the pocket deeper here. So again, I hope all this is showing you that you really can't mess these up. You can make them whatever size fits your project, your papers, what you like, and what you think looks nice. That little bunny sticking out. And I think I'm going to put Mr. Rooster in there. So you may not see the bunny too much. And perhaps something a touch taller. Does this one work? Yeah, why not? I will finish inking it later. Now, something for the pocket. I don't know. I have another flower. And I have these fabulous books. I may just do the books. I've been wanting to use these. I also have some of these little cottages. Oh, yeah. Definitely the cottage. The books will get used eventually. And this would be fun to come through with like some of my liquid pearls. I have them in different colors and add some accents. I think that would be fun. Again, just little touches to take your paper projects up a notch. Is it Emerald that says kick it up a notch? And I definitely subscribe to the, you can go extra in this type of journaling and paper crafting. Okay. Whew. That was a lot. I said we might glue some down, but I'm not sure we're going to. I think I'll do that, and then I'll try to remember. You guys can remind me if I don't do it, but I will try to remember in the next video then to just flip through a little bit and show you where I attached these. Okay? I hope you liked it. I hope these ideas for library pockets are helpful. All right, everybody. Until next time, have a great day. Thanks for watching.